I purchased my first, which is a World War II surplus, for $500. I'd heard about the Rubicon Trail, and with another friend that had one, we made a trip over the trail. Very impressed with the trail and the beautiful country and the capabilities of the Jeep vehicle. The first is a 1952 Willys CJ2A. The interesting thing about this one, it's got 43,000 original miles, and my first was at 52. It's just exactly like that. The total price was $1,752, including license and tax delivered. The next is a World War II Willys, built to Marine Corps specifications with ring hooks for loading aboard ship, and a very unusual service manual on the inside of the hood. The one directly behind me is the Bantam, which goes back, it was one of the first prototypes delivered to the military. To World War II, the Army put out requests for bids on light reconnaissance type vehicles, and there were only 3 manufacturers that responded, and each one of them were given a contract to build 1,500 of them. This is one of the early 1,500, totally restored. I have the Willys MA1, which was one of the pre-World War IIs, and it has a history. It was sunk in a landing craft in Saipan. A Navy supply ship happened to spot it while they were anchored there. They sent divers down, recovered it, cleaned it up, got the salt water out of it, and put it aboard their supply ship for the rest of the war. When the war ended, 2 sailors from El Dorado County happened to be in that one when going on liberty, and it was never returned to the supply ship. We have possession of that one now. The one with the machine guns, it was copied after the British Special Air Services, which were a terrific harassment to Rommel during World War II. There were about 80 of these that were outfitted for desert warfare. And one morning in 1942, I believe it was 3 or 4 of them, hit this German airfield in Africa, charging up and down the runway, blew up something like 32 German twin-engine bombers, including one that was just landing. Then they scoot off in the desert. And something rather interesting, if you notice the color on it, it's pink. And I was told by a former member of British SAS, Special Air Services, that they would paint them with pink paint. And then while the paint was still wet, they would throw sand on them to get the dull desert look, because the way they would attack would be early in the morning with the sun behind their back. There were no windshields, there was nothing on them to give any glare. They would be gone on missions for 3 to 5 days, so they had to carry food, ammunition, and water for that period of time. And if you noticed on the front, there's a little unit that would save condensed water because water was so scarce in the desert. I have a 1947 Willys CJ2A fire engine, but rather interesting unit. It only has 7,300 miles on it. I bought it sight unseen on the east coast of Massachusetts. And as I understand it, the factory would, of course, send it to the manufacturing company that made the fire units. They would put them on and return them to the factory. Then the factory would sell these to dealers. I have my CJ7 that I did the expedition with. It's a stock factory vehicle. The only thing we put on that was anything different to get through the jungles were a little bit bigger tires. And of course we had Ramsey winches on them. We did have bridging ladders. Without the ladders, we would have been a good extra 30 days in the jungle. When we're doing the Darien Gap trip, we were prepared to take 90 days to go through the jungle. We were able to do it because of the expertise of our crew and experienced four-wheelers. We were able to go through in 30 days. I also have a 1950 Willys Jeepster in mint condition. Very beautiful, sporty little vehicle. It's more of a classic than a off-road vehicle, but it was one of those that Willys, I believe they made them for 3 years.